Hey girlies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer and this is a Ready to Wear affair where I discuss all things fashion, mostly luxury fashion, but also affordable fashion, high street, and contemporary, and everything in between. I love all things fashion, but I also share lifestyle, travel, beauty, and just anything I feel like sharing with the girlies. So today's video is going to be a nice little sit down. It's going to cover places I shop. Let's just get right into it. And I pretty much want to cover and share with you all the places where I shop and get the best deals. I feel like lately a lot of the items I've been showing you all have been sale items and really, really good finds, and I want to share the wealth with you all. We don't hoard here, we don't gatekeep, we share with the girlies. And so let's get into it. So I'm going to break this into like 4 categories. The first is going to be like the best places I shop for, like top tier luxury discount deals, like the best deals on luxury items, and I'm talking designer fashion, so like your Saint Laurent, your Gucci's, your Fendi's. Like this is the hottest to me, my favorite place, favorite tier to shop. So let's get right into it. Right at the top of the list, the first place I think of when I really want to get a great deep discount on luxury goods is Yoox.com. Yoox.com is part of the Yoox Net-a-Porter group. Yoox Net-a-Porter, so that's YNAP, owns both Yoox and The Outnet, and then obviously the overarching top tier brand under that umbrella conglomerate is Net-a-Porter. So anything that gets moved off of Net-a-Porter during like sale season, clearance, whatever, gets sifted into either Yoox or The Outnet. The Outnet is a lot more popular because it's so user-friendly and it's so much easier to shop. But this, again, the discounts aren't as great. I would say the inventory isn't as vast. So they're kind of opposites in that way, but I would definitely hold Yoox. Personally, I've found so many like gems. I found some on the Outnet, but Yoox, I have been shopping at Yoox religiously, and honestly both of them, but time after time, Yoox has been proven to just give me the best bang for my buck. The best bang for my buck, the best selection, the best inventory. It's a lot of stuff, but to me, it's worth the savings. So top of my list, number 1 for me when it comes to like the best luxury discount sale sites is Yoox. And then again, followed by The Outlet, number 2. So for like number 3, I would definitely say it's quickly becoming Saks Off Fifth. Saks Off Fifth, I feel, I've always shopped at Saks Off Fifth. I've been aware of the brand for many years. Obviously, Saks Off Fifth is Saks Fifth Avenue's outlet, e-outlet, and physical. They have physical stores. FYI, Yoox Net-a-Porter, the 3 companies I just discussed in that whole conglomerate, all strictly virtual, all e-retail. There's no brick and mortar physical store presence anywhere, just FYI. I will say overall, I'm someone who notices that shopping online is just for many reasons that we all know why e-shopping or shopping online is just better than shopping in person. But I think for me, a key reason, because I actually don't mind shopping in person, it's very, very therapeutic to go into stores and just like sift through like clothing. And I will say the older I get, I am less patient. So sometimes if I see like a sea of clothes, I kind of stay away from that. When I was younger, I would gravitate to that. I'm like, ooh, gold mine, what can I find? The biggest reason for me why I prefer online shopping is because the items you shop are pretty much pristine. Rarely are they worn. They're just in great condition. Have you guys seen Saks Off Fifth clearance clothing rack? Damaged. Most things there are damaged. You are lucky if you find something that's in decent condition. Every time I go to a Saks Off Fifth location, the clearance rack is just pitiful. It looks worse than like a thrift store. The condition of the items are horrible, absolutely horrendous. The prices are not even good for what you're getting, the condition of the clothing that you're getting. Just to me, overall, shopping in person for clearance items, shopping through clearance racks and red tag sales, whatever, like, the things are just in terrible condition. Even if it's a great designer find, they tend to be just completely worn down, damaged in some way. And so that's why I prefer to shop online, because the items you get they're just in good condition. But yeah, I love Saks Off Fifth. Lately, if you guys have seen my last video, I think my last video or 2, I've gotten some amazing ready-to-wear finds from Saks Off Fifth. I feel like Saks recently, like main Saks Fifth Avenue recently, like offloaded a bunch of their old season stuff to make room for the summer items, of course. and it's like fresh off of Saks Fifth Avenue, and the selection is top tier. I got like this beautiful Bottega Veneta skirt. Please go check the video out. I'll link it here for you all. The Bottega Veneta skirt was exquisite. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe I found it. I was like eyeing it from Zendaya, and I ended up finding it at Saks off Fifth online. So that was one of the best deals that I've of ready to wear for the year. And a few other things. So definitely check that video out if you haven't done so yet. And yeah, so it's quickly becoming one of my favorite. Before I didn't used to find too many things, but it's quickly becoming one of my favorite destinations for the best discount designer deals. And then Saks as well. Saks itself, like Saks Fifth Avenue, the main line store, they have pretty good sales too. Just much like Net-a-Porter, like when it's time for them to have sales, they have more, their sales are more often and more frequent than Net-a-Porter. So I tend to shop there a little more than I do Net-a-Porter, to be honest. And great finds at both Saks off Fifth and Saks Fifth Avenue. So definitely check those stores out. Next on the list, and it kind of came up as I was talking about like red tags or like clearance racks and how picked over they tend to be and just in horrible condition the clothing tends to be in, is Nordstrom. Nordstrom and Nordstrom Rack. Nordstrom has pretty good seasonal sales, like during Christmas, the holidays. They have really great like clear to rack sales, yellow dots clearance sales. So the mainline Nordstrom, I've had some pretty good luck finding some great designer discounts and deals. Not that often, but you know, enough for me to like go back every so now and then and check to see what sales they have. They too don't have frequent sales, but definitely check the holidays or like end of summer. I mean, across the board, those tend to be the best times to shop designer sales or just any fashion in general for seasonal changes, of course. And then Nordstrom Rack, similar, and I mean, the store is great for like, I like finding things like Coach brand, like contemporary brands, Kate Spade. So if you're into like those brands, they do have a pretty steady rotation of like goods from those brands that are like decently discounted. You probably would have better luck going at the respective outlet stores, though, I will say, than going to Nordstrom Rack. But again, they are available at those stores or at this store. However, yeah, I haven't had great luck, but the things that I find there when they have a few, because Nordstrom Rack, I feel like they don't have that many designer goods that they bring over from like main Nordstrom, which is like annoying. They do have a pretty good selection of sunglasses, I will say. I found these beautiful Bottega Veneta, what are they called? Stretch mules, but in this cool embellished version. Oh my gosh, this bad boy. Oh, beautiful. This work of art I found at Nordstrom Rack, and it was just, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Like it was like 80% off. Oh my God, I couldn't believe I found these. They're in a size 42, but they fit like a 41. So I didn't know that. I thought that the stretch mules fit true to size, so which would have meant my size would have been a 41, but this is good enough. So a Nordstrom Rack find, FYI. Don't sleep on Nordstrom Rack. But yeah, once in a blue moon, I'll find something like a really great deal. But other than that, like it's usually more misses than hits overall in comparison to the previous stores I had mentioned earlier in this video. But yeah, next up in my list of places to get the best discounts on designer goods is Essence. Essence, I feel like we all know Essence here. Essence is completely amazing. I shop there for a lot of like my white project, Margiela items, like smaller brands, like I think Dreams by Noten is on there. Satire has quickly become one of my favorite go-to destinations. In fact, I go there first when I see something new drop that I'm like really into and I really want. Satire, I guess, is like part of the gray market, and they kind of get the designer goods directly from the store, like the actual brand. So it's legit, it's authentic. There isn't any funny games about fakes or dupes or counterfeit, whatever. Like Satire is legit, it's authentic, and I shop there all the time. And as someone who shops luxury frequently, you start to honestly develop your own measure of like quality and like authenticity, right? So it's like I know True Leather when I know like the YSL stamp. I know, like I know like little things, little details that really speak to an item's authenticity in regards to like the brand it's from. So I don't worry about too much of that in terms of like my own ability to determine. But yeah, so FYI. Another place I shop is Il Duomo. So Il Duomo is actually a small Italian store. It's a boutique that's based in Italy, and they sell a lot of great designer goods like Jean Paul Gaultier, what else? Coperni, I think, Alexander McQueen, like your top usual brands. And their inventory is really great. I mean, it's kind of limited, their sizes are limited, but they usually have like of season things. And I really like shopping with them mostly because like they'll have new current season items for like 40% off, which is rare. Usually new seasons, like, 25% off new in items. And it's like, no, they do a good 40% off, which is really good for, like I said, current season items. And so I love Il Duomo for that. I got my Jean Paul Gaultier denim set. So it's like denim white like jeans and denim crop jacket from Il Duomo for about 40% off. And it was like when it was still very much a current season. So don't sleep on Il Duomo. I also got this really beautiful red and white sweater dress from them for about like 50% off. They also do sales too. So whenever current season stuff gets out, or is like out and they're phasing it out and to bring in new season items, they do discount sometimes up to, I think up to 70% off what's phased out as old inventory. So definitely don't sleep on Il Duomo. I feel like it's not talked about. People don't really like know about it, but I've shopped there enough times to be like, they're legit, they're awesome. I've communicated with them a few times. The only thing I will say is like their duties are pricey. They use DHL, but I guess they're a very, very small boutique, and some of the, like they don't cover duties. So they leave it for the customer to cover duties. So I would say use your discretion in terms of determining like what you're willing to, it's kind of a balance. So maybe I'm getting for 40% off of new and luxury designer pieces, but I'm paying like a hefty duty price. So, you gotta weigh, I would definitely weigh the final cost when you compare it to like buying something that's like 25% off from like a Saks, or like a 25% off from like a Net-a-Porter, or like a My Teresa, that cover duties, right? Well, My Teresa is probably more accurate because My Teresa, I believe, is based in Europe, is based in Germany, I wanna say. And so like in contrast to My Teresa, where they do cover the duties, and they'll give you maybe a 25% off new in items versus like a 40% off, but you cover the duties. Like I would compare it before like making a purchase, just FYI. Okay, I'll just go through these really fast. The remaining luxury ones would be My Teresa. They don't have great sales. Sometimes they do, but I do like to check their inventory because they have great inventory. Their merchandiser is pretty awesome. They have a great eye for like the best pieces from the runway collection. So I do love My Teresa for that. What other brands do I like shopping at? Ooh, Luisa Via Roma. Okay, I have to stop for Luisa. Luisa Via Roma should be up there as like number, I don't know, 6 or 5. They do have some great promotions on new in items or current season items. They're a little better than My Teresa, I would say, but their sale, they have the best sales on old season items. I've gotten so many Mugler blazers. I'm saying so many. I think it's like 2. I've gotten 2 of my Mugler blazers. I'll put the pictures up of them here from this site. So they will mark it down for sale. Sometimes they'll be like 50% off, and then they'll give an additional, like in your email, they'll say for 1 hour, we're adding an additional 20% off of sale items, or even up to 25% off of sale items. And so you're doing like 50 or 60% off, even sometimes 70% off. Usually, I think my Mugler blazers, I've gotten them for like, they were 65% off plus an additional 25% off. And so I'm getting it for like a quarter of the actual retail value. So don't sleep on Luisa Via Roma. I love them for their sales. And I would wait for the sale to have a sale, like further discounts and promotions on top of sale items. So, and then also if you can't wait for new in items to go on sale, you're afraid of them selling out, they have some great, like, I would say promotions for new in items. So don't sleep on Luisa Via Roma. They should have been ranked higher on my list, but I just wanted to make sure I emphasize how I have had great luck shopping on Luisa via Roma. And then last for my best websites or brands or shops that I get the greatest, deepest designer discount deals on is Forward, and that's FWRD. Forward is, they don't have sales too often, but I love their selection. They have a great inventory, much like My Teresa, much like Luisa via Roma. Actually better than Luisa via Roma. Luisa via Roma has a limited inventory, I would say. My Teresa and Forward have some of the best after, you know, Netta Porter or the other ones I've mentioned earlier. And they don't have sales often, but they have a great rewards program. So you get like discounts off, points off or whatever, money off of purchases. And they have honestly the only brand I know ever existing currently to still have exchange. You can do exchange with Forward. Yes. So if you see an item, let's say you purchase it, it's size 36. You get it, it's too small, but you see a 38 still available, and you don't want to buy the 38 and have 2 items charged to your card and wait like 3-4 weeks or whatever for you to finally get your money back for one of them. Like, you can do an exchange, which is, like, no one does this anymore, and I just love it. So yeah, you can purchase, let's say you got 36, it's too small, purchase 38. They will send you the 38, and then you can send back the 36. And it's a fair exchange, so they're not charging your card twice. So it's so annoying. I mean, it's so amazing. But I think that they wait until you send it, so they have to receive it for them to send you the next size, the new size that you need. So highlight for Forward right over there. But yeah, so that's it for like the top luxury brands that I get the best deals and discounts on. Let's move on to the next category, which is best selection. And this is a very brief category. My Teresa I mentioned, not the greatest for discounts, but they have one of the greatest inventory and range of items available for so many different brands. Farfetch is the best, one of the best, because it connects, it's like a marketplace for different luxury e-retailers or just retailers. It could be brick and mortar or online retail. But mostly I think brick and mortar around the world. So they connect luxury boutiques around the world with, in this one marketplace, you can shop at Farfetch, but they'll source the luxury items from so many different boutiques around the world and get it over to you, which I think is so amazing and just speaks to how global reach of fashion. So they have, to me, one of the best inventory selections out there for luxury goods. And then Nordstrom is pretty good as well. Shopbop is not bad. Shopbop sales, don't sleep on Shopbop sales. I know I didn't throw it in earlier, but I haven't gotten enough great things from Shopbop to consider them a great destination for like deep discounts on designer deals. But they have a great selection too. Like, they have a great selection of Rosie Assalan. I love Rosie Assalan. Not that many luxury brands carry her pieces, but like Shopbop does. I think of all the names of all the brands I just listed prior in my luxury deep discount deals list, I think it's just Netta Porter, Motor Operandi. Motor Operandi is like, the brands that they have are super feminine, super beautiful. Like, I feel like sexy, like for the ultra girly who wants to just really exude their femininity, exude warmth and just sex appeal and but also sophistication and elegance. Moda Operandi is the place to go. And what's so special about Moda Operandi is you'll shop runway looks or runway pieces ahead of it being released to stores. So, and I think sometimes it's like maybe not 6 months, 3 to 6 months out from the collection dropping out to stores or being released to stores. You'll get to deposit half of your payment, and then when it gets released to stores and the collections drop in stores, then you'll pay the balance, the other half, once it ships. So, which is kind of cool because it's like you're doing layaway. So I love that they're the only luxury retail site that does that. So that's it for best inventory and merchandise selection. So and now I'm moving off of luxury fashion into more contemporary and more affordable brands. and just so I can cover my girlies of all price ranges, of all socioeconomic backgrounds, because we don't always got it like that, and that's okay. Shouldn't stop us from indulging and enjoying fashion. So onto contemporary and affordable brands that I love shopping for like elevated basics. So not your like cheap, poor material, poor quality brands. I don't want to name any names, but we all know some of them are big, giant, like fast fashion e-retailers. Sometimes do have quality, genuine like fabrication that they use. And so definitely look out for like brands that have like limited edition collections and like capsule drops. Those, I find them they tend to have better quality overall. That's fabric, that's construction, that's design, etc. And they come at a higher price point, unfortunately, like compared to the rest of the store's items, but it's definitely worth it because these items will stand the test of time in your wardrobe, and you can just definitely utilize them, mix and match them, layer them in many ways. So that's kind of a general tip for like shopping at fast fashion brands. But I think another subsector that's not necessarily super fast fashion-y, but like also like not really like luxury, is like the contemporary, like elevated basics like category. And I would say COS is on there. COS is like, I would say, a top tier elevated basics brand. You'll get your cashmeres, you get your wools, you'll get your silks occasionally, you get your linens. So natural fabrics that are very breathable, that will take you from any weather. The designers behind COS really have an eye for creating unique pieces with different shapes, cuts, you know, sizes, with different, I don't know, aesthetics. Also still very streamlined. Overall pretty minimal, but like minimal with a cool, sophisticated edge, like minimal with design. So I love that about COS. And it's like not your basic, not so basic. COS is also owned by H&M, by the way. So it's like the less fast fashion branch or family member, cousin, sibling of H&M. And since I'm still talking about the H&M group, another company within that group is And Other Stories. And Other Stories, I think it's not as minimal in terms of the aesthetic as COS. Like COS is more like, they don't use too many prints, they don't use like sequins, like they don't use too much like patterns, and like honestly the color palette is pretty neutral for the most part, with some pops in color, but like never really any print. Usually it's one solid color for their items. And so that's kind of like COS's aesthetic, very minimal. Whereas And Other Stories, the quality is similar in that it's like a little more elevated. It's quite a bit more elevated than like the H&M, the parent company. However, there's a lot of color, there's a lot of print, floral, sequins, you know, bright colors, patterns. So that's the difference between COS and Other Stories. Price points are similar in that they're more than you'll pay at H&M, but the quality definitely is there. Like I really have enjoyed getting a lot of like work clothes from And Other Stories, and some really fun party clothes, party looks. And I really enjoyed the collaboration that, And Other Stories has done quite a few collaborations that I've enjoyed, especially my favorite of all being the Awake Mode and Other Stories collaboration that came out a few years ago. And I loved almost everything in that collection. So COS and Other Stories are like my top tier, like go-to brands for elevated basics. You know, you have to be willing to spend a little more, but it's definitely worth it because these items will last in your closet for years to come. And then I would say also elevated basics, definitely check out, like I mentioned earlier about like some of these like fast fashion brands doing like capsule collections that tend to be limited edition and also have like a higher price point, but there's more design, more thought into like the quality fabric that's put behind it. Check out The Gap. The Gap, I'm not sure if people know, but The Gap's creative director is currently Zach Posen. Zach Posen is a couture king. Like he is known for gracing so many red carpets with his designs, with his confections, with his like beautiful artistic work and eye. Like he is someone who knows how to dress a woman for a red carpet gala like event. That is Zach Posen, and he is known for like his use of like stitching, piping, like almost contouring, like corsetry, knows how to really like bring out a woman's figure, sexy but classy. Like that's kind of like Zac Posen, and so it's really cool and like random almost that he's like the creative director of the Gap, but I think that that's what the Gap needs to bring it into a more fashion forward future. And they just dropped a studio collection, much like H&M does and other brands, and I really love some of the pieces that I saw. There's this one dress that has some really cool like corset stitching at the torso area. I bought it, but for some reason it didn't work out. I think I'm gonna have to size down in that dress. I just didn't love the dress as much as I thought I would, and I think maybe I would love it a little more if I bought it in a size 2. So it's currently sold out in most sizes, or sizes that would fit me. So I have my eye on hopefully something in the size 2 popping up. But yeah, so don't sleep on the Gap for their capsule collections, such as the Gap Studio collection designed by the Zac Posen. And then I'm just trying to think really quickly. Those are my top 2. Like Zara, look, I love Zara. I'm always gonna shop at Zara, I think, knock on wood. I don't wanna say always. Zara is Zara. Definitely, Zara also has great collections where they have elevated pieces, elevated basics that are made of like quality natural fabrics. So don't sleep on Zara for those collections. They're not, you know, there's no schedule. These things are random. So I would just check your local Zara, or Zara online frequently to see like what late collaborations they have. I think they recently had a collaboration with, was it Massimo Dutti? I can't remember. I'll put it up. But they recently had a collaboration. I don't think I saw anything interesting though. So, but again, these collaborations make for you to find things like leather, things like silk, cotton, like at a fraction of what you would pay at a luxury retailer. So, and an elevated kind of sense of style and design. So look out for those collaborations at Zara. There are few and far in between. They don't do them too many, just FYI. And then Mango's pretty good too. Mango's a great place for, it's fast fashion, but they also have things like leather, wool. So just look out for those fabrics when you shop. Sometimes it's not even about a collection. It's just like looking to see, maybe you can even do it, if you really want something leather, do like a leather keyword search on the website and see what leather items come up. Do wool, do silk, do cotton, and see what things come up. So definitely don't sleep on the fast fashion brands for like elevated basics when you kind of look specifically and strategically. But yeah, and then I'm gonna wrap this up, this segment of affordable, like elevated basics with 2 of my, I guess, my favorites. The first being Uniqlo. Uniqlo is really big here in New York, and they're known for like really, really basic clothing, but their fabrication and the heat technology for winter goods are top tier. Like I love my heat technology, like turtleneck, the mock neck. It keeps me warm. It's also very, like I love the fit. It's a very slimming fit. It like flattens my stomach. Like I don't know what it is, but not only is it like insulating and warm during the winter, and I usually don't have to layer beyond just wearing the sweater. It's very smoothing. Like it's like, I don't know, like I love it. It's like kind of sexy. So, and it's thick. It does the job. So I highly recommend their Heat Tech line. That's like their turtlenecks, tops, leggings, socks, I think too, you name it. And lastly, I would definitely say, it's probably the more expensive of all the ones I just mentioned, the Frankie Shop. The Frankie Shop is a great, like the best place in my opinion for elevated basics. So like you'll have like a striped shirt that's oversized with shoulder padding, or a oversized shirt, button down shirt with like a cool like sleeve belted detail in the middle that you can use to cinch it. Like they use wools, they use silks, they use cottons, like all the best fabrics. If you are looking for that, they also aren't exclusively selling them, obviously. And they also sell other non-Frankie Shop brands. So the Frankie Shop has like kind of their own line of store branded, Frankie Shop branded like clothing, but they also sell, in addition to that, their own line of clothing. They sell like other luxury brands like Coperni. Coperni's my favorite brand right now. I think Christopher Esper for sure I know is on there. A lot of Isabel Morant. So many brands, in addition to the Frankie Shop kind of like mainstay brand. So there's like this, and I love that they have like staples, like things that they keep kind of forever and they just refresh it every season. So if you missed that, you know, I don't know, X named pleated pant, they restock it several times. Their famous hourglass blazer has been on that website for years, and they constantly restock that exact blazer. So if you miss out on it the first time, if it's something that's a repeat, a staple for them, they'll bring it back year after year, season after season. So I love brands that do that. Like, it's good to have a go-to place to replace things that may have worn out from overwearing, or if you missed out on it the first time, you will get another chance at getting it, you know, down the line or in the future. I just love how they're just, they're like the cool girl, the model off-duty vibe, the New York City vibe. Somehow they're killing it with something like very simple, like an oversized shirt, oversized jeans, or a cigarette pant, and some mules. And it's all like from the Frankie shop, but you are killing it. Like, you are looking like a snack without doing too much. That's the Frankie shop. I love the Frankie shop aesthetic. Like, if I were more minimal, it's definitely more on the minimal side. But if I were like a minimal girly, like that would be like somewhere I would shop. It would be higher up on my list, and it's somewhere I would shop frequently. And the price range is definitely more than costs. It's not a luxury level, though they do sell luxury pieces, and so those pieces are reflective of whatever the luxury retailer sells them for. But aside from that, like the Frankie shop inventory, like the Frankie shop owned like store brand name pieces, those are, you know, not super expensive, but they're definitely more than cost. So, you know, you'll get that oversized shirt for like maybe under 200. You'll get the beautiful wool coat, that wool trench coat for maybe like 700. Again, at a Saint Laurent or like a Gucci, you know that stuff is starting at 1,200, right? So it's still a really good savings on similar level quality of fabric. But again, more streamlined, more minimal. They don't have too much in terms of like design and embellishments and bling bling. Like, it's a very quiet girl luxury type of vibe. So yeah, so that's why it's not my go-to, because that's not my aesthetic. Definitely more of a maximalist. So yeah, that's for all the minimal girlies out there. The Frankie shop is a great place for elevated basics. So that's it for elevated basics, that category. And my last category is going to be really, really quick, and it's going to be resale. Resale. I've been doing a lot of resale. I used to not, when I was younger, like in my early 20s, I used to like frown upon like the resale market or like pre-loved things. I grew up that way because my mom kind of taught me that, like, oh, why would you want someone else's things? And like, but when you get older, you realize it doesn't matter. You know, reduce waste, reduce your carbon footprint, be more resourceful, like just pre-loved. If you really want something, you missed out on it when it went on sale, or you missed out on it before it went on sale. It's a great way to kind of like still get your favorite pieces after the fact. So yeah, and my favorites are the Real Real. The Real Real is great for clothing. Definitely shop the Real Real for clothing and shoes. Bags are not so great. I only shop there if I have to. Like, if there's a bag I can't find anywhere else and I really, really want it, like the Real Real does have a pretty good bag selection, but the prices are pretty high. They're pretty pricey in contrast to like other competitor resale stores like Vestiaire Collective, which is my next one, and then Poshmark. So that's the Real Real. I love the Real Real. I shop there very often for clothes. I get like Chanel skirts. I've gotten like a maxi Chanel skirt or a mini Chanel skirt, all wool, fully wool exterior, fully silk interior lining for like under $150 in like pristine condition. So don't sleep on the Real Real for luxury clothes, especially Chanel, Dior, etc. The next up on my list for resale / pre-loved items is Vestiaire Collective. Vestiaire Collective is tricky though, I will say, because like the seller sets the price point, which is like oftentimes everybody obviously wants to get the maximum amount of money. And so it is kind of difficult, like when you're looking for like maybe hard to find items, and sellers, I don't know, a lot of sellers don't even budge. And I just find things to be pretty pricey on Vestiaire Collective, I'm not gonna lie. So I've had some luck throughout the years for getting things that are pre-loved at a decent price, but everyone tends to oversell or overprice their items. So, you know, you can always bargain, which I love. I love the option for that. And sometimes they do cave and meet you close to the middle or even closer to you sometimes. So it's worth putting in offers on things that you are really interested in buying. And that's Vestiaire Collective. But what I do like about Vestiaire Collective is that it's global. So you got Europe, you got France, you got US, you got the whole world at your fingertips, except for obviously like, well, you got Europe and you got America and Canada maybe, and that's it. So not the whole world, I correct myself. But yeah, so that's Vestiaire Collective. And then I would say for pre-loved, Poshmark has quickly become another go-to for me. Recently, I got these Bottega Veneta boots that I'm obsessed with from Poshmark, from a seller who was willing to really bring down. I feel like Poshmark people are a lot more willing to bring the price down. So I have more luck getting pre-loved items at a better deal on Poshmark than at Vestiaire Collective. And Poshmark, I like recently turned to Poshmark because Poshmark now has an authentication like department, and so they have an in-house authentication service that they offer to items that are $500 and over. eBay also does the same thing too, by the way, which has honestly been the main reason why I'm now considering Poshmark, because Poshmark is kind of like, it used to kind of just be like people can sell whatever they want and call it whatever they want, and it's just it's at your discretion to kind of figure out if it's authentic or not. But now they have this like threshold of $500 items or more being shipped to their authentication department for, you know, review is priceless. I love that. And it's really quick, it's really seamless. I had my item authenticated in like 24 hours, and then that had made its way onto me, I think, the next business day. So in terms of like being it shipped out, and then I think I eventually got it from the authenticators like 3 or 4 business days later. So pretty fast, pretty seamless, pretty pleasant process. I highly recommend it. I also have something else on the way that I recently just purchased that was also luxury. So from Poshmark, and it's being processed, whatnot right now. So stay tuned for that, and I'll reveal that when it gets to me. So that's pretty much it in terms of best pre-loved sites. I do like Fashion File for bags and accessories. So bags and like Chanel brooches, or just like necklaces that are out of season. So yeah, definitely check out Fashion File for those specific items. They have great pricing on bags, and I love their ranking system in terms of like the level of condition. When something is like new with tags, it really is like, I don't know if it's ever even been unboxed or touched. Pristine or excellent, brand new, I forget the name, but that is also great. Like I honestly just limit my conditions when I shop to like brand new with tags, or with box, with original box, whatever, to excellent / pristine. I don't really do very good, like unless I'm doing like something that's like, I don't know. I'd rather just shop those 2 conditions, brand new tags or original box, and pristine or excellent, or, you know, never been worn, whatever. And you really would feel like you're getting a brand new item straight from the store. So those are the 2 conditions that those are my go-to conditions, and they've never proven me wrong. And they're very, very accurate. But yeah, it's up to you, it's at your discretion in terms of what you're willing to pay for pre-loved items, and like the level of condition that they're in terms of like wear and tear. So definitely keep that in mind. But yeah, that's everything from my list of places where I like to shop, my trade secrets, the tea. I don't gatekeep, I just share my knowledge with the girlies. Leave me a comment if you've shopped at any of these places, what your experience is. Are there any brands that you often shop at that I should also know about, or maybe you forgot to mention? Shout out below, let me know. Let's get a conversation going. Let's talk about it. I love talking with you girlies in the comments. But thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any new updates from me. I'm keeping them coming. I'm keeping the hits coming. I'm on a roll. So I'm trying to bang out some content for you guys weekly. And I appreciate the love I've been getting for you all. So stay safe, stay blessed, stay respectful. And I will see you girlies in the next video. Bye.